So, a very good morning to all the students and welcome to this Python video series. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about data structures that are used in Python programming, the basic data structures that consist of lists, sets, tuples, and dictionaries. So, what are data structures? Data structures in Python provide us with a way of storing and arranging data that is easily accessible and modifiable. These data structures include collections. Some of the most commonly used built-in collections are list, set, tuples, and dictionaries. We have studied about the punctuation marks, and we have seen that there are certain type of symbols that we actually use that differentiate these data structures. So we will be using those symbols and we will be differentiating between different type of data structures based on the representations that we use in Python. So let us know more about lists, tuples, set, and dictionaries in this topic. So starting away with the most simple type of data structure, which is called as list. So lists are one of the most commonly used data structures provided by Python. They are a collection of iteratable, mutable, and ordered data. Okay, they can contain duplicate data. So ideally they are iteratable. That means you can iterate, you can go in a loop, you can read the first value, then the second, the third, and the fourth value up to the end of the list. This is what you mean by iteratable. Iteratable means you can move from first element to the last element. You can read one by one all the elements and then you can process them if you want. Then mutable means that they can be changed. Okay, mutability means they can be changed. If you want to, if you have a list like the list shown in here, if I want to change this ABC to say 4, I can do it easily. If I want to change 2 to say XYZ, I can do it. So mutability means I can change the elements of the list and they are ordered data. That means if I have a list like this and if I print it, it will be in an order. It may put 1, 2, 3 before A, B, C and D, E, F, or you can use A, B, C and D, E, F before 1, 2, 3. But it will be an ordered data, and they can also contain duplicate data. Okay, they can have duplicate values. Certainly, here are the code snippets extracted and organized with simple subheadings for the data structures. The syntax of the code is you give a name to a list, that is list 1, and then followed by a square bracket and ending a square bracket. In between the square brackets you will write those values separated by a comma operator. So this list has 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 elements. The first element is 1, the second element is 2, the third element is ABC, which is a string, the fourth element is 3, and the fifth element is DEF, which is again a string. So in this way you define a list, right? If we don't enter any value between these two brackets, this list 2 is called as empty list. Okay, so let us write it here. If I write list 1 is equal to, suppose I write 1, 2, and I write A, B, C. Let us put 3 elements, and I print list 1. Okay, then it will give me 1, 2, 3 ABC. So this is the content of the list 1. Now if I do list 2 is equal to an empty list and I print list 2, then it will give me an empty list. Okay, this is an empty list. I can, why we define empty list? Suppose you want to have two lists, you want to filter out the even and odd, so you will read one of the list, the element. If you want to read odd elements, you will read the odd numbers and put it into the empty list. Okay, so that's why you will use a symbol called empty list sometimes. The second representation is, you can also write something like this, list 3 is equal to, then now you will use the keyword called list. Okay, and within the bracket you will mention 1, 2 and 3. Now what it will do, it will create a list. This keyword says that create a list with the element 1, 2 and 3 and assign it to list 3. So if I enter this, if I enter list only, it will not give. It is a class. Okay, the class is list. Now if I want to print the element, I will print the element of the list 3. Okay, you understand this? So they are all three ways are valid. You want to create an empty list, you can create it like this. If you want to put a list in by populating it, you can do it by like list 1. And if I want to use a keyword called list, you can use a keyword called list, and then you can print all these three. Okay. Now there are certain operations that you can perform on the data structure called list. We will go one by one. One is called as indexing. That means reading the index of the particular value. If I say that list 1 is this. Okay, so let me copy this here and paste it here. Okay, this is the list. Now what I am doing here is, so I populated list 1 with 1, 2, hello and 3. So I am saying this print list 1, 2, right? List 1, 2. So what I want to do is list 1, list 0, list 1, 2, list 2 is hello, and list 4 is 33. Okay, so what are these values? These values are indexes. 0, 1, 2, 3 are, oh, this is the third value, this is the third, list 3 is 3. So the element at the first place is at the index 0. The data structure generally begins with an index 0. So you will access it with an index called 0. So this is the 0th index element. This is the first index element. This is the second index element. So this is the third index element. So what you get out of this representation is, if you are having a 4 element list, the last index will be always n minus 1. Okay, if n elements are there, the last index will be n minus 1. This is a 4 element list. So the index of 3 will be 4 minus 1. This is 3. Okay, so I mentioned it incorrectly here. It should be 3. So if I write list say suppose 3, so it will print, it will go into the third index 1, 2, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So this is the element that should be printed. List 3 is this. Print. Okay, list 1, 3, that is 3. Okay, this is the third element. Likewise, if I want to print list 1, 2, I will get hello. Okay, this is the same output that is shown here. So this is called as indexing. You pass the index and you will get the value. Okay, the same as you understand that if I want, these are the names of the students, and the students roll number starts with 0, suppose this is an arbitrary case, then I will pass the roll number and it will give me the name. This is how it works. Second thing is adding an element. So adding an element is like, I have a list called 1, 2, 3. I will use a method called append. So list is the data structure, append is the method, and for is the what do you say, parameter or argument. Okay, so if I write it here, if I populate a list called list 1, 2, 3, and I want to add suppose 4, so I will list 1, this is the name of the list which I want to change. Then I have to use a method called append, and within bracket what I need to add. So I need to add say 4. So I will do this 4, and then I will print list 1. It will give me four elements. Okay, 1 2 3 was there initially. Now I added 4, so it is the added at the last place. Suppose I want to add one more element to this. So if I say, if I want to add 112 into this, then it should print. If I say list 1, it will add 12 also at the end of the list. Okay, then deleting the element from the list. So if I want to delete an element, what I need to do, I will use a keyword method called pop. Pop doesn't have any parameter. Why? Because pop generally pops out the last element. So if I did this and I will print list.pop, it the value is pop, what element is popped out. So list.pop, tell me what it does. It will pop out the last element. It will tell you which element it has popped. So if I do list1.pop again, which element should be popped? 4. Okay, the element should be 4. So one by one it is popping out, it is taking out the last element. Okay, this first time it popped out this, second time it popped out 4. Now I can also use a method called sort. If I have a list of data like this, uh, suppose if I have a list say like this. Okay, if I have a list like this, suppose you can, if the example that has been given to you is list 1 is equal to, suppose this is the list. So can I do list 1 dot sort on this list, because it has a mix of numbers and strings. If I want to do whether this is work or not, let us see. So no, it's not working. What is saying, not supported between list integer and string. So for doing a sort operation, you need to have a integer list. So list 1 should be similar to this. If I have 100 comma 3 comma 4 comma 2 comma 80, suppose this is the list, and I do list 1 dot sort, and I press list 1, it will sort 2 3 4 80 100. Okay, it sorts everything, but you cannot do with mix of integers and string. So let us see if we can do with strings. So if I have something called a comma b comma z comma d comma x, well these are the elements, suppose, and I do list 1 dot sort, and I print also at the same time. I print this list 1 dot sort, none. Okay, so I cannot sort any data like this. So for this, your list would be a numeric list. Then there is another option called search. There is another option called searching an element. Now suppose this is the list and you want to search an element. So what you do, you pass the index. Now this index method is not passing the element, it is passing the index value. So this is the list. Okay, this is the list. So this is the list. Okay, now what we are, so this is the list that we have. What happened? this and open once again. So in this searching an element, what we see was then when we populate an index, a list like this 100, 3, 4, 12, and 1, then we want to find out what is the value at the particular index. Okay, so in this what we do, suppose we have having like this, we have two editors. So let us populate this list here. This is the list that we have. Now if I write list1, list1 dot index, right, and I pass say 3, so a 3 value, then what it actually does is, this is 100 is at the index 0, 3 has the index 1, 4 is the index 2, and 12 is the index 3, 1 is the index 4, because there are 5 elements, the largest index is 4. So 3 is 0, 1, 2, 3. This 12th element is at the index 3. So ideally what will happen is, be the case that the thing should print 12, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Index returns the index of fourth element. Oh, sorry. So what is happening here is, it's finding the, it's, if you're giving the value, it's giving the index back. So if I want to search whether this element exists and what is the index of that particular value, then it does this. It will search the list with this in this element, okay, this element 3, and then it finds, if it finds the element, it will return it with an index. Suppose I write an element which it doesn't exist here. So if I say print list1 dot index say 5, what it enters here, it says that 5 is not in the list, 5 is not in the list. That's why it cannot find the index of an element, by because the index, the element itself is not there in that particular list. Okay, then we have a method called reverse, that it reverses the list. Okay, like we sort, we also can reverse a list. Then we have an element called count. So what it will do, it will count the number of occurrence of a particular number in a particular list. So if I say count 2, it will count the number of 2 present in that particular list. Suppose this is the list, so it will have occurrence of 4, so it will print the value 4. Okay, so this was all about a list. In the next video we are going to study about tuples. Okay, thank you.